So Andy Cairns sets the first mark. It's the first game in the last 32. But this, the last word of the end, might just pick up the jack and count. Roy Moxham. Very useful rub there on the jack. They will wait for Moxham just to arrive. Inspect the damage. He counts one. Just the single. Good start. Signals it. And of course, with the handicap start of 5 each in the tournament, apart from previous winners who are handicapped, that means Moxham is holding a 6-5 advantage, and just as important, Michael Leach, he's got that jack.
Yes, Bryan, and he's setting a long mark now, going for the corners early on. I think probably aware that Andrew tends to be a shorter length player.
Yes, Moxham gone really as far as he dare, just about a yard plus beyond the jack is the ditch. But the green at this stage will be consistent. We've had a little overnight rain. The running should not be at all freakish and will in fact take some running out of that bowl from Moxham. Both bowls short of the jack. Looks to have better running. He's slightly adjusted his line. The length is better. So holding 2. This is the final bowl of the second end from Andy Cairns.
He's given it a chance.
He has given it a chance. It might just stick out there, Michael, unless the peg will bring it back. Rather, I don't even think he's saved. No, Moxham's very happy. He reckons he's got 2. Yes, agreed. Another 2 from Roy Moxham. 8-5. And of course, Michael, if you get a bit of a start on the Waterloo, if you pack a few doubles in with this 5 starting games of 21 up, you're on the road.
Yes, the players always regard it as a bit of a flyer of a competition, really, and a bad start can be difficult to recover from. It's also psychological. You need to score a point early.
I think so, and particularly against a young player, because that's a good bowl from Moxham, a good lead. Because Andy Cairns there is only 18, and you know the minimum age to enter the Waterloo is 17, so he barely got in. They entered a long time ago, back in December. Good length bowl. Just a thumb peg mark, and it will still fall. Given this a lot more running, he might just do a bit of damage and take his own further out. So certainly counting 1, Andy Cairns, he'll be relieved about that. The big lad in beige, Moxham in blue. This is running and needs to run a bit more. He's left it. Good chance for 2, but he's missed out. Just a single, but he's off the mark, Andy Cairns. Just pulls it back now, 6-8 off the mat. And going a similar sort of direction, Michael, but just moving the jack a shade, isn't it?
Rather surprising choice of mark, I thought, that for Andrew to take. Just the length that Roy was looking to play. He's playing a very difficult mark where the jack is.
Yes, he's just short, and the effect of that is that it pulls it up fairly abruptly because it'll swing with the bias. And he's given Moxham a sight of the road in.
not certain to win it.
It'd have been nice with a rub, though, wouldn't it? You get the feeling that's not going to trouble the scorers at the end of the end. Better road. He needs the length to carry it through. Well, that's the winner so far. Moxham still to bowl his second. Different line, isn't it? Top side.
This is the only one on the land.
Yes.
He's far enough.
He needs a hit. Got it.
Nearly made two.
He's almost made two. Almost. We'll need to have a look at this. He's certainly won. Players themselves will sort out exactly whether it's one or two. If there's a dispute, they will call for a measure.
Yes, it doesn't look a measure on that shot, but they're looking at it. But I think it's only one.
He's taken the one, hasn't it? Accepted the one. Another single. Roy Moxham. And that's against the jack that was set by Andy Cairns. So as Michael Leach suggested, it was a bit of a surprise. It was a gamble. It's gone against him. Moxham leads 9-6. This is a change, Michael, isn't it? This is interesting. He's come out of the corners almost, well, just over the crown. It's a bit of a split crown here, but he's certainly shortened things.
Yes, there's not a lot of consistency about setting the marks at the moment. Again, I would have thought Roy would have stuck to the length that they've been playing. Instead, he's broken his own length, really. I think you suggested earlier, this is more Cairns' game. I don't know how well they know each other, these chaps. But I think Cairns, although he's a huge fellow, is happier on what, the 28, 30-yard marks. Yeah. His road's better, it's tighter. That's a good ball now. Well, there's still room. Cairns expecting a little bit of bias working for him here. It may just about do it. Yes, good ball. Good ball. Pressure ball. The boy done well. Another single. Andy Cairns, outstanding junior player. He now trails 7-9, and they're picking their way around the green. They're changing direction completely. The green is quite lush, Mike, isn't it? I've seen much worse greens than this. The condition of the green is very good. There's just one or two places where it's slightly rough, but it's a very true running green at the moment. Yes, when you think of the lack of rain in these parts over the last few weeks, it really has stood up to it very well. And of course it gets a drenching most evenings. About midnight they turn the watering system on. They do. This needs to get through. Yes. Well, he's run on a bit. It's just the lead bowl off Cairns was a bit in the road, but now he's moved it. More running in the bowl. Now needs to peg with the bias. Good length. Good ball. I've known bowlers in that situation who might elect to strike, but Moxham appears to be happy that he can beat it. He thinks he can get up there and win it. Nope. Good played wood, though. Yes. Just found the gap. So another single. It's getting closer. 8-9 Cairns, and with the jack. And the game hasn't settled into any pattern. They're still feeling out each other's games, looking for chinks of weaknesses in the armour. And again, maybe this is what he was after, Michael, because he's gone virtually full corners on the other diagonal. Yes. He's decided he'll have a look at the other corners, see if he can meet with more success in those. I'm still not sure that it's the tactic he should be adopting. I think he'd be better employed settling onto the length he prefers. Sometimes I think you can respect your opponents a little too much in this game. Well, I think usually the answer is to play your own game first, and then if you can't win playing that, then try and play to your opponent's weaknesses afterwards. Absolutely, and there's an indication of the slowness of the green, because they're both a couple of yards short.
They're just waiting.
Changed his peg.
Yes.
This is a very difficult peg to play to get another one.
He just asked actually who was on, I think, Michael, and found from referee Charlie Tarbrook that he was just about on and didn't want to get into a position of promoting Moxham's bowl.
Well, Moxham shouldn't have had any fears to do that, and yet he's changed his peg as well.
Absolutely. He could have afforded to play on his own. He might be happy he can find the way in any event. Look at that, you see? You're right, Michael. He's left two. Oh, that was a mistake.
Well, that was a surprising choice of woods from Roy. There was nothing to be lost by staying on the hand that they were playing first of all.
Yes, now he takes the lead for the first time. 10-9, we're just getting into the 8th end. Roy Moxham travels a fair bit. This is one of his local greens, in fact, and yet he's from up there in Cumbria. He's from Barrow-in-Furness, an electrical inspector. His main interest is in bowling. Bowls in Cumbria at county level and plays for Vickers Sports.
Well, any of the Cumbrians, of course, who want to play top-class bowls, they all have to travel.
Yes.
He and Martin Gilpin are the two best-known Cumbrian players.
One or two over the years have done well on this screen, of course. Gilpin, you just mentioned in particular, has won a number of competitions here, and we'll be seeing him later in the tournament. Generally, Michael, they haven't led particularly well yet.
No, the first one that starts leading well will have a big chance. Andrew has been playing a lot of better second bowls.
Yes, the adjustment has been good. Maybe the pace of the green is varying, because I see this and they're both sort of beyond the jack. Just be a little bit of faster running down there. At the moment we think Cairns is holding one. This might sort things out. It looks a good road. It's the length. He needed that.
He might have made two by that. I think the wood, his last wood is certainly in.
It's deceptive from our position.
And he's just turned the jack over.
Yes, it looks one apiece to me, but
no.
He's not signalled. We assume it's one. He didn't signal. It's one. That's another one to Andrew Cairns. A little bit of daylight. 11-9, and that's from trailing 6-9, and again this time he's pushed the jack a little further.
This thumb peg mark is usually regarded as one of the easier marks on the green. Just a question of pace, really.
He did well to get through there, and it lies nicely 18 inches beyond the jack. Certainly further, much further with this, could do with a connection. So certainly it swings again. Moxham is just holding the one. Useful to couple up. He managed it right at the beginning of the game, and he's looking for two. And he's got them. So that's two to Moxham. Blue disc bowl, and we're all square. 11-11. And we're into, or just starting, the 10th end. And where is Moxham going? He's having a think about changing the land. He's only counted once in the last 5 ends. Complete change, so I don't know whether he's jockeying for position here, Michael, or whether he's just trying to upset Cairns' game.
Well, apart from the one end when Roy shortened it down, they've both really looked at playing 45-yard marks so far. And one of them, I think, is going to have to change.
Yes, still no pattern emerging. The betting on this heat, Michael, I think favoured Moxham and his experience.
Yes, the bookmakers have bet on the heat as if Moxham's a big favourite. I didn't think he was that much of a favourite. I've seen something of Andrew this year. He's played this year for the senior county team, and I think he's a very good player.
Yes, I think on this green he bowls particularly well. And I think being young, he'll not be too affected by nerves.
No, that's a good point, Brian. Of course, the young are less affected by nerves.
They're not quite aware of what it all means, Michael, are they? As we are.
He wants to know who's in here.
Yes, Charlie Tarbrook indicating the bowl to the right of the jack is the one that's counting, and really that's not good news for Andrew Cairns, because he's got to make sure that he improves. He's not up, is he? Well, he tried. He may well just have needed another roll of the bowl. Moxham's having a long look. I'm not sure, Michael.
No, they're both looking very carefully. I think we'll have measures here. Andrew's just having a quick look to make sure his backwood's not in.
There's nothing that can topple in, really. This is the first measure of the game. On the right, as we look at them, Peter Lawrenson on the left, just crossing around in the back, Eric Garth. Both local referees and bowlers as well. Peter Lawrenson, in fact, is still in the tournament. Cairns a little concerned. They stand back and leave the officials to get on with it now. They're measuring all three. Cairns is prowling around in the background, which suggests he's not entirely convinced. No, now then, he's got it. He's got it. Takes a lot to please the lad. He's got it. He got one.
But he's got it. He's got it with the wood that his first wood.
Yes.
Which Charlie had said was not in, unfortunately.
It happens, but it's enough to give him a 1 point advantage. 12-11. And very quickly, Cairns is into his stride and changing things again. He's halving the green. They've tried the corners. Neither of them have played them particularly well. They've countered with yard bowls. Now this is a fair indication of the sort of country they've got to cross before they get anywhere near that yellow jack. Swung away, just a yard short. Again, this looks slightly higher. Now, if he's got the length, well, he's probably got too much. He's going to run on. A yard short, a yard and a half through. Big adjustment. And maybe this is the one. Yes. Good bowl.
Well, this has certainly reached.
It has. He needs to do a little bit of damage, doesn't he? He's got the gap. Now, what has he left? 2. He has left. 2 to Andrew Cairns. So that was a good move for the boy. 18-year-old. Again, he breaks away, and in the second half, as we saw the second half of the game, he's looking a little more convincing.
Yes, that was the best tactical move, I think, of the game, shortening the length.
Yes.
And he's obviously now going to play over the crown. There's a bit of difference in pace over this crown.
I'm sure there is, Michael. I'm just wondering why he ever bothered with the corners in the first place. Maybe he was just testing Moxham out, but on this sort of mark, he has played well. Thumb peg mark. Beyond the jacket does fall away. Not be unhappy with that.
And that's a good lead, forcing Roy to reach up to pass it.
Yes, there's enough land beyond the jack not to worry too much about the ditch. This now is working for him with the bias. just about counts, doesn't it? They will want to know from Charlie Torbrook, referee, exactly who's on. Yes, last bowl up. Bowl delivered by Moxham. He's holding at the moment. Now then, that's exactly what he's got to do. He's now got to work with the bias and get the length right. Sneak between the two. Thank you. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. A good bowl. That takes him off the green as a spectator. But an anxious one, because he's now watching this final bowl from Moxham, which is trying to get a promotion. Unlucky. Good end. Another single. And that single is enough to push Andy Cairns a little further into this lead. 15-11.
Yes, that's a good lead at this stage now. That's the best end they've played. I think he'll probably go back over the middle now. Finger peg. Just where it's a bit quicker. That's why he caught Roy playing through last time.
Well, he's nicely into his stride, so now he should have the length worked out. Certainly the direction was right.
Yes, that was a fortunate connection. It would have gone 1.5 yards missing. It's a good bowl now.
Yes. And he's a little bit in the road on that hand. Exactly. Moxham can't get through. But he has opened it up. Yeah. He wants to know exactly now what damage he might do with a connection. These days, referees don't only read the rights over rules, they sort of give a coaching course about the danger if you do this, that and the other.
Well,
overplayed.
Now Roy must reach here. Every chance, if he reaches, of either taking the bowl out or knocking his own in.
Or taking out.
He's
the
close.
bowl would suit him. He might get the jack. He might just promote. He's done it. He's promoted. Well, whether that was the plan or not, it counts.
Steve Copeland in the crowd. Watching
yes.
with some interest.
Had a great season, Steve Copeland. Now then, that's the single Moxham needed. 12-15 off the mat, and that stops a little charge by Cairns for successive points. Predictably, I suppose he's got to change it, Michael.
Yes, he's now cutting it down. Again, perhaps if he was going to cut the length down, he could have cut it down a bit more, and that might have caught Andrew out. But it's only about a 28-yard mark, this.
Over the years, various people have played this mark particularly well. I think back to Tony Poole, who was very strong in this sort of mark.
Yes, he played this mark exceptionally well and won a lot on this green.
Yes.
Primarily on the mark itself.
The Shropshire bowler, yes. When it was running particularly well. This at the moment is a reasonably consistent pace, but not fast. So the bowls need pushing.
Yes, and they've all three wood
short.
Well short. Now Andrew will expect to beat these.
Well, he needs to, because he would then change it from 15-13 to 16-12 if he's right. Moxham looks annoyed. It's the single, just one, Andrew Cairns, but a very important one at that stage.
Yeah, he did right there. He kept it wide, made sure he didn't run into the short bowls. He didn't need to play a toucher to count.
Right, 16-12, and with the jack, and again with new territory, another piece of land. Not seen this played too often, Michael. I've seen one sort of further to our right played across the green, but certainly not too often on this one.
No, I think Andrew's come here simply because he's now decided that 35 yards is the length across the green, cutting the green in half. I don't think he has any particular preference for the mark as such. It's not the easiest mark.
It's not an easy mark. It's caught him out, hasn't it? And it's given Moxham the advantage of getting within a yard, whereas he's 2 yards short. He's got to get away from his first bowl. Just about.
Yes.
He needed that. Just put the brakes on. It's counting. It's not a great bowl, but it's counting.
And his other bowl's in the way. So Roy's now got the problem of missing them, which I think he's just done.
He's just about done it. He's just about won it. He has.
Good bowl.
Good bowl, yes. Another one. Roy Moxham cuts it back, 13-16. The game was really just slipping away. So you look at this and think, well, the next 2 ends could decide the game.
Yes, he came up looking very studious about where he's going to play. I think he will go for the corners, which is virtually where we started.
Yes.
But he hasn't.
Good tip, Michael. You try and read bowlers' minds, and that was a bowler reading a bowler's mind, and of course we know where we think he would go, but he'd get it us. But the important thing is to lead, and he's not led particularly well throughout the game. Well, it's a length bowl.
Quick running here, hoping to catch Andrew out for pace, which I don't think he's succeeded in doing.
The peg's going to help. Oh, well, he's promoted. I thought he was just going to sneak inside. They've got the length sorted out. It's a nice mark going back this way. He thinks he's a little too low. You saw him waving that one across. He was too low.
Yes, they drift there.
Yes. Now, if he gets too high, presumably they'll swing right across anyway.
That's right. Well, his line's good again.
He's just inside the bowls, is he, Michael? What about his length?
He's running after it.
Has he got it?
Yep,
Well,
just made it.
He's won it, yes. The single, Andy Cairns. Again, it's swinging about against the man who sets the mark. 17-13 is a good lead at this stage. Interesting now, I mean, the last time from that position, he could have crossed straight across the green. This time he has gone. He's gone for the angle. He's gone for the diagonal. This is, from this position, Michael, invariably where Waterloos are sorted out, because they can cut across to that difficult corner on the far right-hand side.
Yes.
Corner. We've seen the great players play these marks, the really outstanding performers over the years. If you can't play the Waterloo corners, they say, you can't win the competition. Loads of room. Well, he's holding one, maybe two, but they're certainly not great bowls.
That seemed to take a bump as he delivered it, but might have done it good.
Well, it's slightly different land as well.
Andrew's looking at it, almost urging it out.
He's breathing it rather heavily there, and I hope he could just assist it through.
Andrew favours his, I think.
Do you really think that? Do you think that? I think it's the other way. Be interesting. He favours his. He's got it. Moxham, 1. Yes. That changes things again. 17-14, but in fact, off the mat. 14-17 with the jack, and he's not going fully into the corner. He's going 3/4.
Well, this is where he started off on this corner, though not quite this distance.
Do you think he wanted the jack there, Michael?
I think it's gone further than he expected.
Sure it has.
The odds are he'll be short with his delivery.
Because if he gets too close and beyond the jack, it will be ditched. The danger is they take too much out then, don't they? But this doesn't look bad. Well, he probably would have liked it a couple of feet further, but because it gives Cairns a sighter. Just beat the short bow. It's a good distance. He's gone top side of it.
Yes, it's a mark where you can give them a little more than the jack. Bryan Duncan, of course, is the expert on this mark, and it just gives them a little more than the jack, and they tend to peg up as long as you've got a length.
Now he's undercut that one, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's
that may well
too far.
Yes, that's for the beach, I'm afraid. So we don't really know. Maybe Cairns is holding one. The angles are difficult. He could really do with this. He could do it too.
Well, this is
nice. Yes. Now just stop. Right. Good single for starters. He's kicked it in. Moxham has kicked it in. It's 2. 2 to Cairns. What a crucial time to take a couple. 1914, the 18-year-old.
Yes, that's a big lead now, and of course the great thing about it from Andrew's point of view, he can get game in one end.
Yes. You know, they've scarcely settled on a piece of land. They've scarcely played the same mark twice. It has been a strange game. No clear pattern. No one player imposing himself. He needs a lead. Well, he could have been better.
Yes, I think he liked that when he sent it. He ran after it.
Yes.
I think he thought it was far enough.
In fact, this may be further. Moxham on at the moment. Just look at the split crown here, Michael.
Yeah, it's not the highest crown, of course, of greens. There are some where you couldn't see the bowls from that sort of distance at all from the other side of the green.
Yes. It's full of tricky marks, though, the Waterloo. It is a difficult green. There are ridges and there are little hollows and sources.
I think he's in danger of having given Roy the 2 back that he got at the last end.
Yes, he's certainly given him 1. This similar to Roy's first bowl. Well,
may have got one, may not.
I think it's just 1. I think
taking one out.
1, yes.
Only 1.
Just the 1. Useful 1. It's not all over by any means. Still, the young man, Cairns, leading 19-15. Now, he's headed back the same way, but he's put the jack in a different position this time. He's gone for the opposite side of the corner.
He's tried the other peg into the corner. I think what's happened, each of them has not led particularly well, and it's encouraged the other one to take the opponent back when they've got in. Now, I think he may have made a reasonable lead at last.
At last, yes.
Still a yard off, though.
20th end. This appears to have a lot more running in. It's got to stop. This is all right, isn't it? This is a good bowl. Yes. Pressure back on Moxham. It's got to be far enough. Got to be up. He's not up, you know. He could go out here. It's certainly 1 to Cairns, who's taking his time, going back to the footer. This is the young man of 18.
Changed his peg to avoid the short bowls.
Gone for safety. Gone for accuracy. He's holding 1. He needs 2 for game. He's not going to get it, you know, because it's going to kick away there.
No, I think he played that a bit quickly.
Yes, understandably. 1 for yellow, and the yellow of Cairns. All but 15 against Moxham. 20-15 Cairns. He's a bit quick there, Michael, isn't he? Snatched at that jack and got it on the way very quickly.
Yes, anxious to get back in this corner, and he certainly played the last wood too quickly, in my view, because if he'd thought about it, there was plenty of room without changing his hand. He had to knock Roy's woods a yard virtually to knock them in.
Yes. He could have stayed on the land, he knew. Now this has got to start working. No. He's shown now the road that you should not take, and Moxham, if he can, will come inside it and is better. It's his length that they will ask questions about. Did enough. Did enough. I don't know why he's asking. Maybe just wanted confirmation. But the bad news is it's against Cairns at the moment. That caught a bobble on its way. Mark takes some running out.
Well, he's after it.
Just caught a bit of rough land. Has it done him a favour? Has it? Has it? It has, you know. Now he's holding the one he needs. This, the last bowl of the 21st end. Moxham stands on the footer, waits anxiously, watching, because he knows if he's not up, he's out.
Sure.
He's not up, you know. He's not going to make it. Oh dear, what a mistake. Well, 21st end, it's all over. The young man, 18, he's only 18, Andrew Cairns, gets out of it. 21-15, Cairns wins it. Good bowls. Well, he now leads 10-8, but he really had to work for it because Andrew had played a decent lead. We're just starting the 6th end, and this is the man who's now got his game together on marks that he likes. And he's just played an excellent bowl. He's looking to pick the jack up, to trail the jack to the receiving bowl, his own, at the back. It's an absolutely perfect contact. Past the short bowl, clip the jack, 2 penneth. Thanks very much. Good bowling. Now then, he's leading across the green. Ideally, he needs a foot and a half in the running. So 3 successive ends against Cairns. Well, that worked its way round. Just the length let him down. He should learn. These are the marks and the lengths that are being set by Jenkins. He's coupling up again. That is good. That is good bowling. Now that has got to go. But it's 2 against him. He can't strike, but he can certainly afford a running bowl, and this is precisely what it is. But he needs a contact. The weight may not help him. Now then, he's on to 1. Good saver. Oh, he's done well. He's saved. Half a loaf. Could have been worse. But the effect of all that is that it's another single to Jenkins. Break of 6 over the last 4 rounds for an 11-8 advantage. Andrew Cairns telling me he's not happy with his game. He doesn't feel quite on his game at the moment. Didn't look a happy man when he went out. But he led early. He led at 8-5. Just moving the jack around a shade, keeping the same length. Vastly experienced Yorkshire County bowler. And now just work with the bias and run through. Hope here for Cairns. Not quite on the line. May just be holding, but we're going to get a lot closer than that. There's something taken out of the running here. He's not far from the jack. That's good. That's good. Now Cairns doesn't waste any time. He knows the line. He knows what's needed. He knows he's got to take a bit of running out. Get it absolutely on the jack. Has he run out? They reckon he's won it. On a length, on a line, they reckon he's won it. We will wait. Well, those are the experts. And they reckon maybe the yellow disc bowl. It may be a measure. First measure of the day. important. 11-8 on the right there, Eric Garth, left Peter Lawrenson. They will do the measuring. We've seen Peter in action in the later stages of the tournament. Well, that's it. Now tighten up on that. That was first the Jenkins bowl, the mint green disc, and now is that slack? It's yellow, it's slack, yes. Cairns, good single, needed that. 4 successive ends against him, so he's got to change the scoreline, which he has, to 9-11 off the footer, and he gets the jack and he changes the mark. It's an ordeal for a youngster, although he's been here before in final stays in the junior event. We're having close bowls already this morning. Just a yard short with the first bowl, so Jenkins spots that immediately, has to put more running into it. There's a lucky connection. Looks as though Cairns may still be on. But that is the road in. That he can find his own way. Just his length, just a yard in the running of the bowl, like that. Oh yes, oh that's excellent bowling, isn't it? He's got to be far enough now. He needs to know whether it's 1 or 2 against him in case he decides to strike. Good measure for 2. That may just change his thinking. He wants to have a look, be sure in his own mind exactly which is the second bowl. And Cairns has retired. He doesn't want to know. He's gone off the green having a chat with the security men. Not up to him. You sort it out, he says. Charlie Tarbert looked at him and said, who do you think, son? He didn't want to know. You sort it out. If it's 2 against him, he may decide against the all-out strike. If it's only 1 in his own mind, he may feel he can come with some force. They can't decide, can they? Charlie for a moment suggested it could be 2. It's a topic of debate all around. We've got a huge crowd here already. Massive crowd, all enjoying themselves. Well wrapped up. It's breezy, but it's dry. They're loving it, aren't they? Plenty of groups in here. It's a big day. Now then, Jenkins got to sort it out for himself and be far enough. A little bit of running. It could be that there are 2 against him here, you know, and he's just trying to disturb or even just save. Make sure he saves. He's surely done that. That's sorted it out. Charlie asking if he can take the first one out, which he does. It's surely just 1. Yes, he signalled 1. 1 to Cairns. All right, still Cairns then. That was a good end. They're playing some tight heads. 10-11 off the mat. Very versatile bowler, Andrew Cairns. North Lancashire Junior Crown Champion and the Lancashire Indoor Flat. Versatile player. Big and strong enough to play the corners. Just needed a good yard in the bowl, in the running. Might be a bit sticky. It's the first game on the green. A little bit of dampish weather around, although there's a drying breeze. Now this any better? Just about. Still room on the same hand. Just a yard of running. He's put something into this. Cat and mouse game. The length here, the length and line of Cairns. Can he get through or make it good? He's done it, you know. Good bowl. Urges it on. Well, the pressure now is on Jenkins. He can handle it. Good game. Now there's running in this. If he can just play out, he doesn't want to hit his own. He needs a connection. He's not going to get it. Charlie Tarbrook feels it before it hits the ditch. Cairns quickly signals another single. 3 successive singles, 11-11. He doesn't look altogether happy. I think the nerves are getting at him, aren't they? It's a big occasion for a lad, 18. He was in the junior Waterloo last year. He's blowing away there. Just wants to relax. He's not playing badly if the nerves are jangling a bit. All the way across the green. They're well coached, these young players. They know precisely what to do. They know the discipline of the game. It's good to see. Right, over the crown. This is a difficult mark. And he's missed out. There are all sorts of dangerous areas down there. Bowls can swing away if they get too low. If they get too high on the road, they can swing the other way. Jenkins, has he learned from the first bowl? Well, he's a yard short. Cairns is a yard maybe over. They've been correcting very well. Cairns, in fact, stops halfway up, has a look at it. He's not unhappy with this. Look at it. Just look at that. Oh, that's why he's not unhappy. Now, maybe Jenkins will want to know. No, he bowls very quickly. He's seen the line. He wants to play. I thought the moment he got that away, he wasn't too pleased. He could get a wick, maybe. No, through. What has he left? Just the single. Another one, Andrew Cairns. So, from 11-8 down to 12-11 up. And he was 9-7 down in his last 32 game against Roy Moxham before winning that 21-15. No need to change anything. He's doing well on these marks. He's just about outplaying his vastly more experienced opponent on the longer lengths. All about getting a run with the jack. Again, it's almost identical. It's a couple of yards off the ditch this time. Oh, he's far enough. He's far enough. Hmm. 4 or 5 feet through. There is some running taken out of the bowl as it heads over the crown and down towards the jack to finish almost a dead length. That really is a fine bowl. Now this game could suddenly change unless Cairns can improve. They're condemning it as short. The experts around the green reckon it's short, and they're right, and he knows it. He'll do well to get out of this with just a single against him. Jenkins just needs the identical ball to his first. Seems to be on a similar line. What about the length? 2. They shout in unison. 2 it is. Bryan Jenkins. (13-12). He's happy. You wouldn't know it, but I assure you, he's happy now. 13-12. The game will shorten. He will probably halve the green. Yes. Well, he's pulled that well in. It's only just off the crown. It's a good mark. A mark in crown green is 19 meters, so it's certainly a fair mark. But he's short. They do this so often, don't they? They shorten the length of the game and they overcompensate, take too much out of the bowl. And that gives Cairns a great sighter. But has he fallen into the trap? No, he's not, you know. He's done well here. He's done well here. Thank you. Jenkins has got to get up. He's got a different line in and make a contact. Well, he's not really helped things. He's fallen into his own trap. He's left one. It may well be a bit of a gift too. Where's that going? Oh, that's off. Well, I think that was for safety, but it belonged in another resort, really. It is 2 or 3 yards. Look at it. Oh, I'll have one, an embarrassed one. It was almost a smile from the lad. Oh, dear me. One on the jack, never mind. Let's not knock it. It's not easy out there. Not easy at 18. Playing in front of a crowd of what? Getting a couple of thousand people here now. First saw this lad 2 years ago when he won the Manchester Evening News junior event. He was still the same size then. He was a giant with a super touch. So Bryan Jenkins. They're all square, 13 across into the 13th end. 13, 13, 13, and that will do. Yes. He has taken some out of the running. It's not easy, you know, to take a yard out and get it onto the jack. But he's done it. He's done it. He's improved. Now it's only one against Bryan Jenkins. Decides against the jack. Decides against the strike. Decides he can beat the first bowl and curl around the back and peg. Now can it? Can it fall? Well, maybe not enough. Unless that bowl topples, it's 1 to Cairns. It's accepted, it's agreed. Single. Andrew Cairns. Good game. 14-13. 5 players under 25 in the last 32 stage. 3 under 25 in the last 16. Change the diagonal all the way into the corner. Different characteristics in this corner, different challenges. Has he read them? Has he read them? He's not done bad, has he? 18 inches through. Good enough to win any end, that one. A length like this, anything within 2 foot of the jack, this is trying. This is trying. Just run out. But now Andrew Cairns knows Jenkins can play this mark, so he's got to improve. He needs to count or to hold 2. Trying again for him. Can it get there? Losing its legs and it's dropped short. Almost kicked that in. Jenkins. He's further. Is he on the road? He's certainly further. He looks this side. He's coming nicely. Is he going to knock it to Cairns? Almost. Maybe. They're going to have a look at this. Might have been a bit suicidal. Well, they're not sure. Cairns may well fancy his own, you know, here. The back bowl Charlie made. Referee Charlie Tarbuck, I thought, indicated the back bowl. Jenkins certainly got a contact with his final bowl. It looked to me, well, he's calling for a measure, but he looked a bit disgusted, Bryan Jenkins. He threw the footer down, and it's another measure. They're not sure. Yes, out come the whistles, and the lads make their way across the green. How often do you find that when a measure is called for, the measure is at the furthest point? And we can't run, they can scarcely... there was a time when they used to have several measurers around, scattered around the green, but there was a problem once when they had a measure in the middle and all 4 or 8 descended on the same measure. Right, this is a tight one. That was first the back ball of Cairns and now the short ball that did all the damage. There may be a gap there. Cairns, it was damage. Oh dear me. Cairns, a single. Beige is the colour. That's the colour of Andrew Cairns. 15-13. We've seen a few dangerous hits already in the tournament. I remember the one by Mark Britton that gave David Holt game yesterday. 2019 ahead. He took his own bowl off and handed the game to his opponent. Nothing quite as dangerous about that one, but still drama. 15-13, courtesy of Bryan Jenkins, and this time he's left this one short. Plus the jack, I fear, not quite where he wanted it, too close to the edge. And he's shown Jenkins where not to go, and he can pick his own way in. They can afford to go slightly lower there and then peg back towards the jack. That is a good ball. That's appreciated. That'll take some beating because it's on the road. This, if it has the legs, he's trying. He's just too low, isn't it? And will swing away. Has it counted? On a length. They pull up there, you know. We will require some assistance from referee Charlie Tarbuck. He's on, you know. Cairns has got it. Just gone in. Same ball from Jenkins. He can afford to almost... Oh, it looks short to me. He can almost afford to cut along the edge there, but he's left it. He's not a... Well, mistake. That's two successive bad ends for Bryan Jenkins. Another single. Andrew Cairns. This will be an upset if he continues at 16-13. He will wait for Jenkins to have a look, and in disgust he agrees. Disgusted himself. But at 16-13, there could be another major upset here. Cairns was priced at 20-1 at this stage to win the tournament, and Jenkins was 8-1 for the title, which suggests that Jenkins for this is going to be, for the heat, would be something like 11-4 on, and Cairns may be around even money. His last game he was 2-1 for the heat. He's been a good bet as Cairns for the punters. The bookies are telling him they're losing on the heats. There've been some good heat betting, and they're losing a few bob on the heats. Pity. Sad, isn't it? Our heart goes out there. Our heart goes out a little here to Bryan Jenkins, the man in mint green, whose game has gone over the last few ends. Not gone too far, but it's certainly swung in favour of the big man from Rosendale, the 18-year-old, who is now in here. Jenkins still to bowl, his second bowl. 16th end. Travelling nicely down. Doing extremely well for him, this. Doing very, very well. Beautiful. Yes. Ah, needed it. Just the single, but that'll do. That's important. Off the mat, 14-16. Jenkins, mint green. Looking for a bit of tasty lamb now to go with that mint. That really was an absolutely precision bowl delivery. He's ice cool, isn't he? He's got a good head on him, as Bryan Jenkins. It called for a big bowl. This was it. This was it. And then it pulls up. What, inch and a half off the jib. What can he do this time? He's led out, he shortened it predictably and led well. Off a bank down there. It will, you can afford to put a bit of running in, but not too much. Andrew may have put a bit more in this. They like it if he can avoid it. They like it. Yes! Well, he's a bit cool as well, although his sweater suggests he might be just feeling the chill a little. He's bowling well. Jenkins has got to go. He's trying. What's he going to do? Is he picking the jack up and taking it through? No. Just shave the jack. going to trickle off, right. Danger there is that if he makes contact on the only bowl that Jenkins has on the green, he could promote him. So he's going the other hand for safety, just having a little trick with the bowl, no danger. He'll take the one. He's happy with the single, and who can blame him? Another single. Good little run this, isn't it? That's from 11-8 down to 17-14 up. Good game. Tactics clear, aren't they? Cairns looking for the corners. Jenkins trying to catch him on the shorter marks, trying to catch him out for pace. Look at that, he's pushed it. He wants distance, Cairns. This is his game. Now then, has he got the bowl right? Doesn't look a button. Does not look bad at all. Really, in that position, that is a cracking delivery. Now then, Jenkins has got to be far enough. He's got to be up. He's got to just try and creep inside. Oh, it's a good second. Now he can afford to go on the bottom side and then hope to peg. He needs the jack. He likes this. He needs just to tickle that jack safely. Oh, is that two? It is. He's holding two. Jenkins really at 17-14 with two against him has somehow got to get in and disturb things. He can draw encouragement from the earlier bowls. Missed the connection, missed out. It's through. Two. He leaves. Good two. Well, that possibly, when you look back for turning points, that could be the big one. Looking a little happier now, Andrew Cairns. 17-14 the previous end. It could well have been pulled back to 17-16, instead of which that two, once Bryan Jenkins agrees, confirms it at 19-14, and he's in a position to tie it up at this next end. 2 twos Cairns has scored, so he's done it the hard way, because his opponent Bryan Jenkins has scored 3 twos in his 14 chalks, and of course they start with 5 on the board. Now is this a good one? He's after it. He reckons it's all right, that, and it is. They'll have that. Good ball. 10 inches through. Didn't go full corners this time. Just found some new land. Needs a hit, otherwise he will run through and he might get a hit. Well, now then, that's a bit close, isn't it? Because they will wait for Charlie Talbot just to have a look at this and indicate which bowl he fancies. It's still the Cairns bowl, the beige disc bowl. Whoa, they shout. I'm not quite sure why, because it looks all right to me. It looks absolutely great, but it is presenting a target. Now he's holding the 2 he needs for game, Andrew Cairns. Jenkins has got to stop it. He's got to cut the count. He's somehow got to get in there. He doesn't think he has, you know. Look at that arm. He thinks it's too low. He saved. Oh, he'd given that up, hadn't he? He waved it out. Just the single. He's still in. Good end. Got away with it. I swore he'd given that up. He waved it away. Single. Andrew Cairns, all but 14. Very much in the driving seat. 11 across. And then from 13-12 down, he broke away. 16-13, and now 20-14. Having a little jog. Oh, he must like it. He must like it. Come on, come on, come on. Yes. He really is bowling well. on any old mark. He was short or long. He has bowled extremely well. He's forced Jenkins to play up every time. He's got to try and get through, and he's not, you know. He's missed the land, he's missed the line. Is he staying on the green? No, no, just trickled off. So he now makes life very, very difficult for himself, because if Andy Cairns can stick another one in here, he needs only the one. Doesn't want to get too close. Ideally, he wants to stop short of the jack. Make it a very difficult target. Absolutely on the jack. He wants one. He's holding two. Jenkins has got to win it. He must win this end to stay in the game. Has he given it a chance? No, surely he can't come back. He's gone. He's gone. He's out. Well, the 18-year-old wins it. They love it. Tremendous. Even the bookmakers are applauding. And at 20-1, those odds are going to come down now. The handshake. Brilliant game of bowls. And that's another upset, I'll tell you, because this lad from Rosendale at 18 has gone through against Bryan Jenkins, a 21-14 winner. Michael just wants to know how close the bowl is and the jack in relation to it at the back, in case he makes a contact. He's certainly holding one. Doesn't want to do any damage. So, Michael Leach certainly holding one. He's going to try for two. Going to hope to run on, run a little bit more. Is that enough? I think not. Just the one. One to Leach. Leach in green. And as they start on 5, we're now 5-6. So Leach immediately onto his mark. Michael's mark, they call it here. It's in front of the bookmakers and the standing area around the green. And he's led a bowl 18 inches short. Just into the shadow cast by the Waterloo Hotel. And Leach now hoping the ball come out of the shadows into the sunshine and count for 2. But Andy Cairns, similar bowl called for. Round the 2 short bowls if possible. He's got to reach though. He's got to reach. Not even saved. He's left 2. 2 more. Michael Leach, being the tournament favourite for a long, long time. And at 8-5, he's on his mark. He's destroyed opponent after opponent on this mark. The bias facing the green, the crown of the green, and the effect there is that it's a straight peg mark. Very difficult to beat. He's absolutely in front of the jack. He's probably 1.5 inches off it. Doesn't want to present too much of a target because they're just over a mark, just over the 19 meters. Leach, is he far enough? Can he count for 2? Suggest not. He's absolutely in the line between jack and footer. It is 2. He's holding 2, which might prevent. Have another look. Charlie Tarbrook, referee, corrects. It's just the 1. Now that could change things. The only problem for Andrew is, as you can see, he cannot get at the jack. He's gone very low and he's missed out. It's just got to him, hasn't it? He's playing right in front of the bank of spectators. Left one. Could have been worse, but Leach quite happy. 9-5 his advantage. And the other advantage being he stays on his mark. That's straight back. It's tough if you're sitting anywhere else in this arena. Around 3,000 people here, and a couple of hundred have got a good view of it. The rest of them have got to peer through the sunlight and into the shade as this ball comes through. Looks for a lead. He's left it a little short, you know. Encouragement here for Cairns. They're calling it to slow down. Whoa, he's not right. Opportunity missed. Leach must correct. He knows the land better than anybody. Now then, it's got to fall. Yes, this time he's right. Very well. Very good. All against Cairns. 9-5 down. Can't afford to let Leach stay long on this mark. This is trying for him. He now needs just to sneak inside between jack and ball. Excellent. Good ball. Now then, that changes things. Not only does it give him the jack, but it gives him the land. It gives him the option. Straight away. Towards the corner. Good mark. Long mark. Fair lead coming in here. They like it. They like it. Just a little short. Now Leach waving the bowl on. Turns his back on it very quickly. Well, it didn't do too badly for him. Big man, Andrew Cairns, 6-footer. Needs a yard in the running. Got a nice line. Got a better length. Excellent. Good ball. Looked very nervous when he went out. Andrew Cairns. First time he's been in a finals day for the main event here, and the first time he's been in the tournament. Now this from Leach. It's flying. That's all the way through. We're lucky to stay on the green. Doesn't matter. What's he left? 2? We think. We do. He signalled 2. 8-9. And that's from 9-5. Michael will not argue. Takes his time. There's the experience. He will only run when necessary. Yes, the footer goes down. The 2 agreed. Off the mat, 8-9. Cairns will want to push this jack deep into the corner, because if Leach wins the end, he's fairly close to his mark again. It's a great occasion, finals day here at the Waterloo. Plenty of atmosphere, plenty of people around the place. The referee there just picking up a paper cup that's drifted on to the green in what is quite a powerful breeze. Now then, Leachy likes this one because he's having a little trot. Doesn't want to get within a metre of the running ball, otherwise he will get a quick reprimand from the referee. This is better. Yes. Leach, a hot favourite to win this heat. Odds on. What about this? How short's this? How short's that? That's a good ball. Holds one. Leach. Just turns round, just checks the lie of the land. Out here practicing late last night. He doesn't practice the short mark, he knows that well enough, but he was practicing the corners. David Holt, who went out yesterday. Now then, Leach, are you far enough? Well, it's got a chance, they reckon. It might just kick away. Needs a little bit of a helpful rub here, not quite enough. Unlucky, the single to yellow. The yellow of Andrew Cairns. And we're all square, 9 across. The players themselves in crown green bowls sort out who's won an end. If there's any doubt, they then call up the referee, who brings on the measurers, and then it's in their hands. They have no further say in it. Cairns then pushing that jack deeper and deeper towards the edge, just getting to grips with the running of the green. Some heavy overnight rain, now a strong breeze, drying all the time, in sunshine. This is in the sunshine too, just a couple of feet short. Michael Leach halfway up the green, following the bowl, following the course of this bowl, thinking he has a line, thinking he has the road, but he hasn't got a length. Now that makes it even more difficult. Cairns holding one, and they are both in the approach, so Cairns elects to find another way in. Turns the bowl over, tries the thumb peg, doesn't know it, so Michael Leach in fact is watching this with great interest. Now then, can he creep further and further? It was a good bowl. It looks as though it's only one. Charlie Talbot will confirm this, the referee. Just the one. Side bowl hasn't quite made it, but he has shown Michael the way, and if he elects to go that way, he's gone the other way. He's gone the finger peg, and he's further. He's just cut it a little. He might get an in off. Oof, almost. Just a single. Andrew Cairns just sneaks ahead. 10-9 his advantage. After a slow start, losing the first 3 ends, he's now nicely into his stride, a considerable stride. Big man, 6 foot, a nice stylist. Left hand on the knee for balance. I'm not so sure about this, the crowd. He's left it short. Leach can learn from this. Has he improved? Is he in a better? Well, he's straighter, so maybe he's just about counting there. I don't know that it matters. They're still 3 yards off. On direction, it's possibly the yellow disc bowl of Cairns. He wants to make sure this time, wants to just pick his way between or the outside of the bowl and then stop. Hit the jack will be useful. That's a good bowl now. Just about 2 foot through. So Leach, a couple of yards short with his first bowl. He's better this time. This is better. This is on the road. Can it peg? Just work and stop. He might just have it. He's got it. Leach. Not only has he got one, he's got his mark again. Down in the shade there. Bright sunshine most of the green. Michael's picked the shade, of course. 10 across. I tell you what, this is clever. He's going to stay in the shade, and he's going for the other mark along the edge that sometimes Vernon Lee plays. Oh, this is clever. He reckons he can catch the youngster. shortening the mark for a falling round peg mark. Just clips the jack. Good bowl. There is daylight though. There's room there for Cairns to get round. And then let the bias do the work. Put it on the road, but he's not quite right. It was his length that let him down. The direction was good. Now then, the bowl will now swing right to left with the bias just off a bank there, and try to work round the bowls. Not quite enough, maybe. Michael will need to have a look at these. It's 2 against him. It's 2 against Cairns. So really it's the same bowl. There's still room. Take a very good bowl to beat them, but he needs to cut this count down. Michael's waving it out. Suggests it's going through. Gone out. Good 2. Clever play, Leach. That's the craftsman. That's the experience. Finds a new mark. Collects a double. 2 to the man in green. Michael Leach. Michael Leach, the man with the experience. He's now having a little trip around the green. This is all about leading well. That he's trying to unsettle his rival, who's been matching him in the corners. Now this has got a swing. Just a shade unlucky, didn't collect the jack. The pressure now can swing to Leach if Cairns gets the lead. He's a little wide. He's barely better. In fact, it's gone out. This is Leach, typical Leach, flying after the ball, waving it in. Can it run and run and run and maybe just enough? He doesn't like it. Cairns. Does he like this? This has got a great chance, hasn't it? This has got a good chance. Yes. Good ball. Single to Cairns. Stays well in touch, 11-12. But the positioning of the jack then forces him to try the opposite diagonal. And if he goes corner to corner, then he's on land that Leach was giving some punishment to in practice last night. Now, he is pushing this bowl as far as he can towards the ditch. It's difficult because if he gets to the left side too much, the ball will swing away. Now it's working up to the jack. It's not bad there, is it? Because it's right in the way. It's forcing Leach to find a way around it. He wants it to go to the right of the first bowl. Well, he shifted it. There is no way through. Still Cairns on. Bowl to the left of the jack as we look at it is the Cairns bowl that's counting. That's the land he's got to cross, and he's also got 3,000 pairs of eyes around the screen watching him. A lot of pressure on an 18-year-old. Gone for safety, playing on his own bowl. He knows he can afford to hit it or work around it. Got it wrong. Leach, of course, now the challenge is different. He can afford to change the direction and go a little more weight and try to get between the two bowls. Now look at this. Has he got the jack? He has, but there is a receiving bowl. Has he got it? He got one. Leach. Good play, Leach. And good pictures. Perfectly illustrated the challenge. And he got it absolutely right. (13-11). Now where's Leach going? Changing it again, isn't he? He has greater green knowledge. But Cairns has done well in junior events on this green. He's done remarkably well in the senior event on his first visit too. Michael not quite right. I thought he was then guilty. Something he accuses his fellow players of, and that's snatching at his lead and his anxiety to get a good bowl. Now what about this one? Not much between them. Maybe Leach is just about on. Won't matter. pretty well up to the centre of the crown, which prevents Cairns, if he wins this end, of getting fully into the corners. Charlie Talbot having a look. He's not sure. He fancies the Leach bowl. Now then, Leach. Is he far enough? Still only one against Cairns. Plenty of room. It's turned over. It's trying the other hand. Trying to find a new way in. Got to stop. Just stop. That surely has won it. Good ball. What a brave shot. Turned over immediately to counter signal. And signals it. It's the etiquette of bowls. You signal to the scorers, 1 or 2, in this case 1. 12-13 off the mat. Andrew Cairns trails by 1 but has the jack. Clever mark by Leach because it pushes Cairns towards the ditch and he's thrown it off, and now it's just gone into the ditch from Cairns. The players are having a little bit of banter about that, because in Crown Green bowls what happens now after Charlie's returned the jack is that Leach will set the mark and Cairns, the original leader, will play to it. So Cairns wants to just get around the back there and look at the lie of the land and follow the course of the jack, because he is going to play to it. And Leach here, of course, has gone towards his own mark. And he's just sneaked onto the edge of the shadow there, cast by the chimneys around the Waterloo Hotel. He's not far away, is he? He will not be unhappy with that. A lot of noise in that area because that's where the bookmakers stand. Now then, Leach. He's no better. He needs the sound. He leads 13-12, Michael Leach, but he wants now to get back. He's had a little trip around the green. He wants to get back on his mark. But if Cairns holds 2 here, difficulties probably run out. He will need to know, will Michael elect to strike, or will he be happy to think he can beat the bowl? He wants confirmation from the referee. It's possibly 2 against him, so that will rule out the strike. He's got to win this, Leach. He's left the footer behind him because he wants to be up there. I thought he snatched a little bit of that. Has he got it right? Can he get in? Yes, he's got it right. Oh, he looked, he had a long look then at the bookmakers. 1 or 2 are writing that up. He gets involved as Michael, 14-12. Sometimes he says, I shouldn't because I lose my concentration, but he can't resist it, you know, can he? Look at him. Come on, Michael. Boo, yes, he's the villain. If this is a pantomime, he's the villain. It is the bookmakers and the people. There they are. There's the boys. They're right behind Michael. It's good fun, isn't it? Yeah. Well, Michael's on his mark, so this is serious. In this neck of the woods, they call this Michael's mark. Now, Michael, has he got it right? Well, he's a good yard. Is it getting at him? Is he any better? Yes, Cairns must pass it. Michael's got to cut himself off now from all this banter around the green. Just get some of that nervous energy released by chasing the bowl. He likes it because he's suddenly stopped. He's a bit anxious. It's holding. They're not great bowls, and they all know it. The jack is just in the shade. He's still got a good side from it, but he's left it. Kids him, you know, this mark kids him. Left it. Single, Leach. Now the Michael Leach 15-12 ahead. He sticks there, you know, doesn't he? He likes this mark despite the hypercritics there. He makes an error on this, they're going to give him some stick. He knows it. He's prepared to gamble. He'll live with it. This may now drop. It hasn't, you know, it's held its course. But it's a length bowl. They look easy marks, but you're working against the crown. You're turning the bias over to do the work for you. Hit the jack if you can. No, you see, it's run out. Leach barely on the footer. You need to have a toe on the footer. I'm not sure which toe. It can be the little toe, it can be the big toe. Holding 2. Beatable 2. Chance to break away if Cairns cannot count this time. He's gone lower. Little bobble took some running out of the bowl. May not now get in. Has he got away with this? He has, you know. Leach has done it again. Another 2. He's catching the youngster out. 17-12. Leach. He was losing semi-finalist, lost to Len Gilfedder back in 1977, Michael Leach. He's allowing himself to be distracted. He's sent the jack possibly further than he wanted. He's waiting for some movement to stop. He's now hoping he's got it right. He looks as though he's left it short. He's got to get a grip of himself, get a grip on the bowl. Cairns now a great chance. Michael waving it away. If you get too high above the jack, they will just kick up towards the crown with the bias. A lot of money on Leach, a lot of local money on Leach. That said, you see the bobbles, a little bit of rough land there, but he looks on course, doesn't he? Now then, what about the length? It's only his length. Short again. Super rode in. Cairns. It's got to be further. He's followed the course. He's no better. Oh, we're writing it off. Oh, dear me, another 2. Michael Leach, they work poor bowls by Cairns. He's all over the place. Now there's a gap, and he's done the damage on this mark. 19-12. Now he's pushed this one towards the ditch, very close towards the ditch. It's right in front of the gallery of spectators there. He sent the bowl much higher. He's overcompensated. Ooh, that won't drop at all. Now look at this. Look at that. Now then, can the bowl still drop with the bias? Maybe Leachy has not got the jack where he wants it. That's a good bowl from Cairns. Leach's bowl is in fact out of picture. It's well to the right, the first bowl. He's compensated. He's got a better road, but the danger is that it will fall with the bias off. Gift 2. He's got 1. Really, it's a gift for 2. Keep your nerve. It's just got to be higher than the jack. It's got to be above the jack, even playing against the bias. That's good. 2. Cairns. Mistake by Leach. The jack he put too close to the ditch. Cairns lives 14-19. And clearly he's going to, that's the mistake he made. That's the mistake he knows. That's it. Let's have a lead, Andrew Cairns. Let's shout. A long, long way the opposite way. He's staying on the green, isn't he? Staying on the green with this jack. Just about. That mill may be 18 inches off the jack. But anything past that jack is in the ditch, isn't it? Look at the slope there. He's slightly off the land. He's now hoping for some work from the bias. Is he going to stay on? Well, he's counting. Michael Leach, the man who has green knowledge. Run away, they shout. Yes, yet no indication as to who is on, but they're well away from the jack. Cairns, the problem is he's got the jack where he doesn't want it, and he can't play up to it because he's going to finish off the green. He's left it hopelessly short. Now who's on? We really need to know. No indication. Leach needs 2 for game. He's after it. That's Leach, the flying Leach. Charging after the ball. They like it. Michael likes it. He's going to win it. He turns round. How about that? That's won it. Is that 1? Or more? He needs 2 for game. Can I take this out? Yes, says Andrew. Andrew Cairns. About to go to college. Will not be playing in the competition again for at least 3 years because of his studies. Having a look. We're going to have a measure for 2, and if Leach gets it, he's got the game. 19-14, and he has 1 on the left there. The first man out was Terry Ashcroft. He's now on the right, overtaken by Eric Garth to do the measuring. If anyone can overtake a measurer.
Okay, lads.
All right. Players have retreated. Maybe a handshake. It is a handshake because it's 2. Leachy wins. Well, that was nicely done. All the damage done along his edge. 18 ends. Michael Leach, tournament favourite. His odds are going to shorten. He's the winner. 21 against the 18-year-old from Rosendale, Andrew Cairns, 14.
21.